You're welcome to TV Sapienza News. I am Oluchi Ojo Bamidele. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has celebrated the strengths and achievements of women and girls of African descent as the world marked the International Day of Women and Girls of African Descent yesterday. Mrs. Tinubu, acknowledging their resilience and accomplishment in the face of persistent barriers, she noted that women and girls of African descent continue to excel despite facing historical and systemic barriers. She urged women and girls not to relent in their pursuits. Broadcasters in Anambra State have been advised to always refer to the Nigerian Broadcasting Code as a guide as the state prepares for another election. The coordinating director of Broadcast Monitoring NBC, Susan Obi, who made this known during a paper presentation titled Navigating Political Broadcast, the Nigerian Broadcasting Code as a Guide, at a one-day sensitization workshop on political broadcasts held in Awka, Anambra State. She advised broadcast stations to employ a delay mechanism during political broadcasts, always verify information, fact-check before broadcasts, and offer each political party a level playing field on their platforms. Also speaking at the event, the INEC Residential Electoral Commissioner, Anambra State, Dr. Elizabeth Agu, who briefly spoke on collaboration for credibility, INEC's perspective on credible and transparent election, decried the desperate attitude of some politicians to hold on to the seat of power. She maintained that INEC is prepared, having trained their ad hoc staff members, and are also working with security agencies to ensure that the election is peaceful and credible. The workshop had in attendance dignitaries whom also gave their goodwill messages. His Excellency, the Governor of Anambra State, Professor Chukwuma Charles Soludo, who was represented by the Commissioner for Information, Dr. Law Mefo, pledged that the political space will remain open for all sides to air their opinions, as long as it is within the ambit of the law. Others at the event were head of stations in Anambra State, Chairman Nigerian Union of Journalists, Anambra, Comrade Emeka Odogu, Commandant NSCDC, Anambra State Command, Olatunde Makun, represented by DCC Stella Onwukawa, and the State Director of National Orientation Agency, Anambra State, Edozie Ajebu. The Ogun State Police Command says its anti-cultism unit, in collaboration with other tactical squads, have arrested 2 soldiers and 20 other suspected to be cultist members during a midnight raid on Hilton Hotel, Abeokuta. The spokesperson of the State Police Command, CSP Omolola Odutola, disclosed this in a statement sent to journalists today. Odutola said the operation was targeted as suspected members of Aye confraternity gathered at the hotel, noting that 22 suspects were arrested, including 2 soldiers, 19 male suspects, and 3 females. Among the things recovered from the suspects are 1 cut-to-size locally made gun, 1 UTC axe, and several blue beret caps associated with the cult group. She stated that the suspects have been transferred to the State Criminal Investigation Department Anti-Cultism Unit for further investigation, and that no casualty recorded during the operations. The command spokesperson disclosed that the State Police Command remains resolute in its fight against cultism and other violent crimes, urging residents to continue providing useful information to aid ongoing operations. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, University of Maiduguri chapter, has rejected and condemned the federal government's decision to rename the institution after the late former president, Muhammadu Buhari, vowing to challenge the move in court. In a statement issued on Friday and jointly signed by its chairperson Abubakar Nchelia and Assistant Secretary Peter Terry, the union disclosed that the resolution followed an emergency congress held on July 24th. It said after extensive deliberation, the Congress unanimously demanded the immediate and conditional reversal of the renaming decision. The union noted that after 50 years of esteemed existence, renaming the institution is a disregard for university autonomy, a disruption of cherished academic traditions, and a direct affront to the collective heritage and identity of the university community. It further announced that the executive committee had been mandated to explore all available legal avenues to challenge the renaming decision and ensure that the university's original identity is preserved, calling on ASUU branches, zones, and the national body to engage the National Assembly, civil society organizations, students, and other relevant actors to resist any legislative attempts to endorse the name change. Former Ekiti State Governor Fayose has predicted low performance for the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in the 2027 general elections, declaring the party could finish in 4th place. Fayose, a PDP member and a member of the now-defunct G5 governors, made a statement during an interview yesterday. According to the former governor, the party's internal crisis and the alienation of long-standing members have weakened its electoral strength. He criticized the party's leadership for what he described as repeated acts of disrespect and sabotage against loyal members like himself. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) has said it is monitoring the activities of real estate companies across the country. The EFCC spokesperson, Dele Oyewale stated that the real estate sector can serve as a platform for money laundering and fraudulent activities. Speaking on how EFCC is checkmating fraudulent activities of the real estate owners, Oyewale said the commission had put them under watch as it is aware that they could be fertile land for money laundering. He revealed that the EFCC is ensuring that actors in the sector operate in line with the law, saying that is why the Special Control Unit Against Money Laundering is enforcing the Money Laundering Prevention and Prohibition Act 2022. Oyewale insisted that the act will require real estate stakeholders to align their activities with established regulations, as any breach of the law will attract appropriate sanctions. Gunmen killed no fewer than 7 persons in a coordinated attack on 3 communities, Umualoma, Ndi Akwanta, and Ndi Ejezie in Arondi Zogo, Idato North local government area of Imo State. The gunmen who operated on a motorbike shot sporadically, leaving several villagers with gunshot wounds yesterday. A source from the community who pleaded anonymity said the victims were carrying out recreational activities when the attackers struck. Confirming the attack, the State Police Public Relations Officer Henry Okoye in a statement said about 7 persons were confirmed dead and several others injured early hours of yesterday. He, however, assured that normalcy had returned to the affected communities following the deployment of security operatives and tactical teams to the area. Also, the Commissioner of Police Imo State Command, CP Aboki Danjuma, has strongly condemned the gruesome attack carried out by gunmen, describing it as barbaric, inhumane, and total unacceptable. He further assured the public that the command has deployed adequate operational and intelligence assets to identify, apprehend, and bring the perpetrators to justice. The federal government has commenced efforts to rescue and repatriate a group of Nigerian workers stranded in the Central African Republic. This was following a viral video showing the distressed individuals abandoned in the Barbary region about 850 kilometers from the country's capital. In a statement on Friday by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and signed by the ministry's spokesperson, Kibebi Ebienfa, the government confirmed that officials of the Nigerian mission in the Central African Republic have successfully established contact with the affected nationals. It's noted that the Embassy of Nigeria in Bangui is actively liaising with local authorities to ensure the safety, welfare, and swift repatriation of the victims. The ministry said their passports had been collected and a vehicle had been sent to evacuate them, as they are likely to arrive Abuja with a military escort today. While reaffirming its commitment to the protection of citizens abroad, the federal government urged Nigerians seeking employment opportunities overseas to conduct proper checks on prospective employers and ensure all travel documents are in order. The ministry also advised Nigerians to register their presence and that of the employees with the Embassy of Nigeria whenever they are in any foreign country to avert unpleasant experiences in the event of consular issues. The Central African Republic has taken a major step in its electoral process with the publication of provisional voter lists just 5 months ahead of the general elections scheduled for December this year. The National Elections Authority has posted the list at voting centers in Bangu and several provincial towns. The voter registration process, which began in December last year, faced significant delays due to technical, financial and security challenges. While some citizens have welcomed the move as progress towards credible elections, others have voiced concerns over irregularities, including missing names and duplicate entries. Observers and civil society groups are urging swift corrections to ensure a transparent and inclusive electoral process. The publication of this list marks a crucial milestone on the road to what many hope will be a peaceful and credible vote. The United States has lifted sanctions designation on several allies of the Myanmar's ruling generals 2 weeks after the head of the ruling junta praised President Donald Trump and called for an easing of sanctions in a letter responding to a tariff warning. Human Rights Watch called the move extremely worrying and it said it suggested a major shift is underway in U.S. policy towards Myanmar's military, which overthrew a democratically elected government in 2021 and has been implicated in crimes against humanity and genocide. A notice from the U.S. Treasury Department said Ekiti Services and Logistics and its founders, the MCM Group and its owner, and Sontax Technologies and its owner, and another individual are being removed from the U.S. sanctions list. The Treasury Department did not explain the reason for the move, and the White House did not immediately respond to a request for comment. In his response to a letter from Trump notifying Myanmar of the tariff to take effect on August 1, Min Aung Hlaing proposed a reduced rate of 10% to 20%, with Myanmar slashing its levy on U.S. imports to a range of 0 to 10%. Min Aung also asked Trump to reconsider easing and lifting the economic sanctions imposed on Myanmar as they hinder the shared interests and prosperity of both country and their people. On sports news, here Sports Limited has announced plans to stage Nigeria's biggest boxing event with the World Boxing Federation in Anambra State. And Emmanuel Emenaogo, a renowned sports promoter, said this while speaking with sports journalists in Awka yesterday. Emenaogo said the heavyweight boxing match named Solution Boat would feature Nigerians Taiwo Agbaje and Thomas Massin from France in a WBF title fight. He said there will be a series of fights before the main bout to give a full day of boxing entertainment. According to him, the choice of Anambra State was because it was accessible to the world with a functional airport, conducive hospitality environment, and rich cultural history, which will be a delight for visitors from across the world. Lionel Messi has been suspended for one game after sitting out the MLS All-Star game without prior approval, the league said on Friday. The Inter Miami forward and his teammate Jordi Alba did not compete on Wednesday despite not being injured, even though they were included in the All-Star roster. According to the league, all players who does not participate in the All-Star game without prior approval from the league is ineligible to compete in their club's next match. The suspension will see Messi, the league's main attraction, miss Inter Miami's match against the visiting FC today. The All-Star competition are a mainstay of North American sports, where the men's Big Four leagues use the exhibition to boost their players' profile, but a rarity in professional soccer. To end the news today, here are our major news headlines. Gunmen killed no fewer than 7 persons in a coordinated attack on 3 communities in Arondi Zogu, Idato North local government area of Imo State. The United States has lifted sanctions designation on several allies of Myanmar's ruling generals 2 weeks after the head of the ruling junta praised President Donald Trump. And Messi has been suspended for 1 game after sitting out the All-Star game without prior approval, the league said on Friday. And that was the TV Sapienza News at 1. On behalf of the technical and editorial crew, I am Oluchi Ojobamidele. Good afternoon and have a beautiful weekend.